Gibson, and I work in the United States federal government, specifically in our National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, fondly called NOAA. Here at NOAA, our mission is to understand and predict changes in climate, weather, oceans, and coasts, very similar to what a lot of you are doing here at Brilliant Blue, to share that knowledge and information with others, and then to conserve and manage those coastal and marine ecosystems and resources. I specifically work as an advisor to the head of our agency, the NOAA administrator. I advise him on engaging and empowering young people interested in ocean and environmental issues. And with that connection to young people as well as the marine environment, I'm super, super excited to be with you all here today. In my role as a youth advisor, my absolute favorite part of my job is interacting with and learning from young people across the country and, when the opportunity arises, around the world. And I'm really, really excited to learn from your ideas here today. I'm also always really excited to be an ambassador of NOAA. Got my little NOAA jacket on here today. In my very biased opinion, we're the best of the United States federal agencies. It's just always such a trailblazing force here in the agency. I'm amazed at our work throughout all of our 12,000 employees. Just a few examples, our hurricane hunters fly state-of-the-art airplanes into hurricanes intentionally to gather data about storm intensity and direction, all with the goal of saving lives. Our team also just established the first tribal-initiated national marine sanctuary in the United States, which will be co-managed with Indigenous and community member involvement. And our fisheries team just created an online calculator to help aquaculture farmers quantify the benefit that oysters have on water quality around them. And one of the things that I'm most proud of at NOAA is not just this really impressive science, but the fact that we aren't just pushing forward haphazardly. We're doing so in a really intentional, responsible way that I can be really proud of. We move forward with 3 core values in mind: inclusion, innovation, and integrity. These are the things that we want to be at the center of everything that we do, regardless as to whether our work involves steering satellites in space or exploring the seafloor. And we've actually just recently articulated these values for the first time. They were announced yesterday. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the first public speech that talks about these values. So with that in mind, I want to use these 3 core values: inclusion, innovation, and integrity, as kind of the framework for our few minutes here together, with the hopes that these values can serve as a framework, not just for what NOAA does here in the United States, but for all of you in your own blue economy work moving forward. So starting off with inclusion. At NOAA, inclusion is really a part of who we are. Internally, it looks like working hard to make sure that our workforce really looks like, represents, and fights for all Americans across the country. For example, for one of the first times, our leadership team here at NOAA is majority women. It's pretty cool to be a part of that. I'm proud to have started my role of advisor to the administrator when I was in my 20s, so we've got a lot of age diversity as well. Obviously, we, along with a large majority of the blue economy workforce, have a long ways to go still in making sure that we're being truly inclusive, but we are pushing hard in the right direction, and that's something I'm proud of. Externally, we're working to include community voices in our decision-making, particularly those voices that we haven't historically done a good job of including. This administration is the first to include a tribal advisor at NOAA, for example, a big step towards making sure that Indigenous voices and treaty rights are honored in our work. My job as advisor on youth engagement is also a brand new one. I was specifically hired to bring youth voices into NOAA's decision-making, with the understanding that young people like yourselves are really important partners and stakeholders in our work, not just in the future, but also today. We now bring high school students into regular roundtable discussions with the head of our agency to share youth thoughts on top agency priorities. And I'm really excited to see that work continue into the future. In your work, inclusion might take different forms too. You might think about working to bring on new team members who have different perspectives, lived experiences, or knowledge types than you. You might also consider more intentionally partnering with community members outside of your team, making sure that your ocean innovations really meet the true needs of the stakeholders that you're trying to serve. Moving on to innovation. At NOAA, we really work to try to create a culture of innovation, encouraging that healthy risk for the sake of growth and better fulfillment of our mission here. A quick example that I think is super fun, because of how massive the ocean is and how difficult something like a whale can be to spot in this massive ocean, especially from the air where we often have our drones flying, our scientists recently turned to AI to help track whale populations. Scientists now capture sounds of whales and other deep sea creatures using underwater microphones. And then they can feed those recordings, even thousands and thousands of hours of recordings that would be hard to handle by hand, through deep learning models. And that those models can then identify the types and numbers of whales in any given location. It's a super innovative technology-based approach that gives us the ability to understand the health of our whale populations globally. Innovation also doesn't have to be high-tech. When NOAA was working with partners and communities to try to map dangerous pockets of extreme heat in cities, called urban heat islands, at a super detailed scale, our satellites that are super far off and just not at the scale we needed just weren't going to cut it. Instead, we turned to community members to help. It wasn't super high tech, but it was super effective. People literally strapped temperature and heat sensors to their cars and to their bikes and took the temperature of their immediate community. That information could then be used to understand where the hottest parts of the city were, and therefore figure out where that vulnerability in human health is and where we needed to focus attention on addressing heat concerns. I'm certainly not going to be the first to tell you that innovation is clearly a part of what you're doing here at Brilliant Blue Challenge, and clearly the driving force of all of your individual projects, which is so exciting. I hope that you can continue to find spaces and people that empower you to push those boundaries of what we think is possible in terms of ocean science and research. I also really hope that you continue to innovate in your own approaches to your work. We obviously know that the world is changing around us, and we ourselves need to keep evaluating and shifting our goals and approaches to really keep up and address concerns as they come. Don't let yourself get stuck in the way we've always done it way, if there's a better way to try. And finally, our third core value here at NOAA is integrity. As public servants of the federal government, we really take integrity, and especially scientific integrity, very, very seriously. Especially in this age of quick spreading misinformation and disinformation, we really seek to be as transparent as humanly possible with our science. We are and always will be a science-based agency first and foremost, and we work hard to clarify claims that say otherwise. In your work, I really encourage you to center integrity by being honest with yourselves and with others about your innovations. Where are those strengths? Where is there actually room for improvement? Where are there spaces where you might not quite know what's going on yet and you need someone's help to figure that out? Integrity like this really opens up honest conversations needed for growth and strong ocean solutions. So in conclusion, I challenge you to actively align your own work with these three values of inclusion, innovation, and integrity moving forward. And I hope that you will continue to challenge us, the adult leaders in the blue economy space that have been talking with you this morning. Challenge us with your new ideas and perspectives. Challenge us to think differently. And challenge us to elevate youth innovation more effectively. Best of luck in the competition here today and tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing all that you've created.
Thank you, Lauren, for sharing all the work that you do. I hope you folks at NOAA know that you didn't have to do all the work just for us, but we appreciate it. We are honored to be the first people to hear about your newly declared value.